show. And maybe you've been watching the Food Network, particularly the Halloween Wars, which comes on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. You'll see that we have a hometown boy there, Mr. Corterrius DaCakeGoat from Shelby, Mississippi, is joining us today to tell us more about his experience. Hey, guy. Corterrius, are you with us?
Hey, how are you?
I am doing good, Corterrius, and I am so excited to say that I watched at least the first episode a little late. I watched today on Discovery Plus, which you can still go back and get a glimpse of it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But let's back up just a little bit. What inspired you in the very beginning to even get into baking? Because you've been baking for quite a while.
Right. I have been baking for about 2.5 years. I got into the art of baking when I was a senior in high school. You know, just as a curious high schooler, I was in search of a job, and I found myself at the Sweetery Bake Shop where I worked as a baker and a dishwasher and buttercream maker.
So so you've only had 2 years of work with baking. I'm impressed by how far you've come and really a short period of time, because most professional bakers will tell you that, you know, it is an art that you definitely continue to grow at. So who really helped encourage you to get it to sort of, you know, learn more about baking?
Well, I would say my mom, because she inspired me. You know, we started my business off with 2 cupcake pans. You know, and I just got into baking by that. I started making cupcakes in the community. So I just wanted to tap in a little bit and say, hey, I know how to do cakes too. So I jumped into cakes. So my mom, she inspired me the most. So we got my business started that way.
So at the first of your business, was it mostly cupcakes or birthday cakes, or what kind of baked goods were you sort of known for?
At the time when I first started, it was cupcakes. I was just baking different flavors. And then someone, you know, they believed in me and they wanted me to make their first birthday cake. They wanted me to make their birthday cake. So that was my first cake order that I had. That was back in 2019.
Okay, it's one thing to bake a good cake and make it taste good. That's like step one, and that's hard enough. It's another thing to now decorate these birthday cakes or decorate cupcakes where it really is like a work of art. So when did you start to explore that and realize, hey, maybe I'm pretty good, and not only making it taste good, but making it look good too?
Well, that came along with, you know, trying to set myself apart from others. You know, I knew I had to do something different in order to, you know, get to where I am. So I just wanted to put together designs that no one around me was doing. So as I started to post on Facebook and people started to actually like what I was doing, so I said, hey, maybe I am good, you know, better than what I thought better than what I thought. So I just I tapped in, tried to look for different competitions that I can kind of get into to, you know, showcase my talent.
You definitely seem to still sort of search out challenges to sort of challenge your baking as well as your artistic abilities. Where did that come from? Just from a desire to learn and push yourself, or have you always had sort of like a competitive edge to you?
I think it just comes with me being competitive. I always try to go back to the drawing board to make sure that I'm doing something, you know, doing what I'm supposed to do in order to get better.
Okay, you have a fun nickname. It's DaCakeGoat, which
Right.
I've practiced it, DaCakeGoat. So who gave you your nickname?
Me and my sister, we came up with my nickname. So we was just standing around. You know, they say goat is great as all time. You know, every time I get finished with a cake, I was like, ooh, they look good. I'm the goat. I'm the goat. So we just started sitting there. We was thinking of names, and we was like, DaCakeGoat. And then I wanted to add like the little country twist with the DA instead of THE. So I was like, yeah, DaCakeGoat, that sounds good.
It sounds good, and your work online looks gorgeous, and obviously it caught the attention of the Food Network whenever you went to apply to be on Halloween Wars. So how did that come about? Because that's kind of an interesting story. There was a few steps that actually led you to applying for the Food Network, correct?
Right. Well, getting on the show, I would say there was like almost a dream. Well, there was a dream come true. I had just begun my career as a cake artist, so I said, you know, people started to tell me, you know, your work is good. You should try out for the shows. So I said, okay, so I'm gonna try. I got on it online. I was just searching for different competitions, and I searched up on a company called Super Delicious. So I put in the application. They wanted to see 5 of my best cakes. So I submitted it. They got in contact with me. They was like, we had to set up interviews. So I did the interview, and a long time had passed by. I didn't hear anything from them, so I just, you know, thought I was overlooked or, you know, they had forgot about me. So one day I get a call saying they wanted to do a casting interview. And I kind of thought it was a scam because I just, I didn't hear anything back from them. So when I did the interview, I actually did it in the bathroom in Atlanta, and I wasn't prepared at all.
No, I love that, though. But you were yourself, right? You didn't have time to sort of put on any kind of, swag or whatever it may be. It was just, Corterrius as DaCakeGoat.
Right. And so after, I completed the casting interview, they had told me that I would get a call back saying that, if I made it or not. So a long time went by again, and I didn't hear anything back. So one day I just got a call out of the blue saying, we have great news. You have been casted to be on Halloween Wars. And I just didn't know what to do. I was jumping around the house. I was all over the place.
I would be excited, too. So when you actually went through the interview there in the bathroom at Atlanta, that's a great little tidbit to that story. Did you know that it was for Halloween Wars, or was it sort of them just going to find where you would fit best with your talents on one of their a bazillion, baking shows or cooking competitions?
Oh, yes, I did know that it was going to be Halloween Wars. When they sent out for the casting interview, they had told me that it was going to be Halloween Wars, and I was just, being the lineup, to be picked.
So back up. Do you enjoy Halloween? Is this something of all the holidays? Have you, practiced, within your own company leading up to this time on the Food Network?
Oh, yes. I most definitely enjoy Halloween. I like to say, Halloween is a time where you can get to be someone else and not yourself. That's the creative part about it.
That is. Okay, so you finally got the word, Corterrius, that you're going to, where are you going? Where is the Food Network?
They flew us out to Park City, Utah.
Well, that's not where I thought that would be, but I was expecting Atlanta or Dallas or New York City. But you know what? No hate on Utah. That's fine. Food Network can come down to Mississippi if they want to and shoot something here. Okay, so did you do the whole show in one taping, or were you there multiple times, or what can you tell us?
I was there multiple times. We have a prep day, and then you have the filming day. So I was there.
Well, I was watching it.
On that part, I don't think I can really just say too much about that,
No, that's fair, because I do know that you made it through episode 1, which has already been aired, and it's also there for streaming. I have not watched episode 2, so I don't want to spoil anything for those who may go back and watch it on, as I mentioned, Discovery Plus. But I love sort of the setup for it, and it was neat in your pre-interview or your interview right there in the first episode. I don't think you realized, or maybe you can share with us, did you realize it was going to be as spooky as they ended up making it be, and sort of the connection with, ghost hunters and some other sort of spookier components?
Oh, no, I did not expect that at all. It kind of caught me off guard because I knew I was just there to bake cakes. I mean, I knew it would be Halloween, so I just thought, hey, maybe I'd just see, a spooky scene. I didn't expect, the lights and everything to just be trickling on and off. So, there was a bit of an experience, too.
Well, I mean, not only are you baking under pressure, but now you're baking basically in a haunted house. Not quite to that extent, but yes, I mean, it had sort of all of those elements. You had a lovely team in episode 1. Did you know the ladies prior to having to get into the kitchen with them, or was it just threw you in there with these other great bakers and cake artists and say, here's your assignment, go for it?
That's what it was. It was like, here's your assignment, go for it. I was teamed up with two of the greatest cake artists in the world. I was teamed up with Amy Strickland and Holly Webster of Las Vegas and Florida. So we was complete strangers walking into the competition. They kind of put us together by our casting interview. Like, our personalities, they kind of matched. So that's how we were teamed up. Besides that, we were complete strangers.
Well, the three of y'all came together and made a beautiful. Well, it is. It still feels weird to say beautiful with the scary cake.
Right.
But it was.
Right.
But it was very well done, and I don't want to give away all of it because we want to keep you a little bit longer here on Good Things. So stick with us. We got more with DaCakeGoat coming up next. We're finding out more about Corterrius, a.k.a. DaCakeGoat. He's from Shelby, Mississippi, and he has been competing on Halloween Wars on the Food Network, which airs on Sundays at 8 p.m. And I assume the wars are still going on, right?
Yes, the wars are still going on.
The Halloween Wars are still going on, so we can still tune in and at least see what's going on. All I do know is that you made it out of episode 1 because it is now up on streaming. If people want to go back and watch it there on their Discovery Plus app. Okay, so how much fun was this? I mean, I don't want to give away a whole lot. I know your lips are sealed on some of it, but it looked like, even though it was completely time under pressure in terms of baking, that you had the time of your life.
Yes, I did have the time of my life. I would say, well, the most fun thing, the fun part about the whole experience was, meeting people who do the same things that I do and going through the same experiences that I go through as a cake decorator. So I would say that was the most fun part of the experience.
Well, too, it's just every time you watch shows like that, and now that they are, coming on more and more often, it's still, though, I am just so impressed with with the ability to, combine making something taste good, because that's one thing you're judged on, and then, also making it look good within just a couple of hours. And to me, that's just crazy that you can sort of pull that off. I will say with episode 1, since it is out and everybody can see it or go back, you guys made a creepy piggy bank, which I thought was phenomenal. Number 1, did you have a piggy bank growing up?
Yes, I did have a piggy bank growing up, so I like to say that the competition was inspired by me. What we did with the piggy bank was inspired by me, simply because as a child, I broke my piggy bank just to get the coins out of it. So we put together this design to say that a piggy bank is coming back, to hunt the children who broke him, so he come back on Halloween night just to come back for them.
Just a comeback. Okay, and it looks great. It's a work of art, and then the judges have to go in and cut it to taste it, and my heart bled for you. I was like, they just spent 5 or 6 hours on this masterpiece, right? And now you're going to go and cut the back end of the pig off. And so is that a little bit, whenever you put your all, and looking at your Facebook page, you can definitely tell that you put your all into all of your cakes and your decorating. Is it exciting for then your customer to be able to eat it and enjoy it, or is there a part of you that's still just like, oh, it's gone?
Oh no, I actually enjoy that part because out of all the cakes that I make, I never get to cut them myself. So it was kind of fun just to see something that I put together be cut right before my eyes.
Well, I would cry. I'd be like, could you wait till I leave? Could you at least let it, stand for 24 hours to be enjoyed and just marveled at? But no, I think that's too the beauty of, cake decorating or baking in general. It is a work of, or cooking really in general. It's a passion of love. It's art, and then, it's gone. So you have to be in the moment. You have to enjoy it, and then you get to go through the process again of recreating that. So what's your most favorite thing to create in the kitchen when it comes to baking?
My favorite thing to create, I would say, like just regular birthday cakes. I get to go and do different designs that I know that people will love. So I would just say that's my favorite thing to do is just traditional birthday cakes because they're simple to do.
Do you enjoy cooking outside of baking?
No.
I wasn't expecting that.
I enjoy eating outside of baking.
I appreciate the fair answer. Okay, is there something like in terms of baking that DaCakeGoat just hasn't mastered yet? Maybe you're just not the goat at yet.
No, I wouldn't say that now. I just, well, anything that I don't know how to do, I just work hard until I get it because I have to get it right. So I guess that's why I call myself the GOAT.
No, I appreciate that. You just keep at it. And, baking really is more of a science, as some people say, than sort of other forms of cooking. So where do you see most people going wrong when it comes to, say, baking birthday cakes? That is your specialty. Where do most people go wrong whenever they're trying to make one from scratch?
I guess what I would say, putting a lot of ingredients, that shouldn't go in. I like baking from scratch. You should have like a set ingredient list that the amount that's supposed to go in. So I would just say, not putting enough or something, or putting too much or something in there.
So what I hear you say is actually read the recipe.
Right, read the recipe.
I feel like you're talking straight at me. I may or may not always measure just right, and that could be why it doesn't always come out just right.
That's the tutorial, right?
Exactly. Now, you haven't put all your eggs in one basket per se when it comes to baking. You are also a student. I'm not sure if you graduated over at Mississippi Valley State University in social work. So
Right.
what drew you to this as I wouldn't say a side profession, but just, as for your educational career?
Well, I picked social work because I actually like helping people. I like giving advice and I like to put smiles on people's faces. So I just kind of tied it back into what I currently do now as far as cake decorating. I just like to put together different designs that'll make children smile and make the person, smile who I'm making the design for.
It's hard to have a bad day if you had a good piece of cake. I will say
right.
that.
Oh, I like that.
You can take it, because I also like your motto that every day is somebody's birthday, and that's actually true. I mean, to some degree, every day somebody is celebrating the fact they made it, around the sun one more time, and that's something to be celebrated.
Yes. I came up with the every day is someone's birthday because, me, I make the cake. And, everyone would always need a cake for an event. So.
Absolutely. And if they're in the area, which I love that you said in Shelby, Mississippi, you're the only cake decorator, so everybody gets DaCakeGoat's products.
Yeah, everybody get a piece of me.
Where is Shelby, Mississippi, if we're not familiar with our, Mississippi geography?
Okay, Shelby is located. It's a small town in Bolivar County.
All right. But you got a great page where you put all of your wonderful works of art in the forms of cakes, and that's CJA's Cakes and Cupcakes. Is that where your primary business is now?
Yes, this is where my primary business is now. Well, right now I'm also working on trying to build me a website so that people will be able to go through and book me through there. So this is something that I'm currently working on now.
So what's the big dream for you?
I can hear you. Can you repeat that?
Sure, yeah. What's the big dream? What's the next steps? I mean, obviously we want to see if you won the war for Halloween Wars, but I doubt that's going to be the last time we see your face on TV when it comes to baking. So what's the big dream for you?
Well, right now I'm trying to finish up with school, and I plan to, do like a foundation where I give back to children with disabilities that ties back into social work as well. So I would like to make free cakes for, children with disabilities.
Well, I just love that. I love everything about your story. I hope one day I'm able to actually taste one of your masterpieces in person, because if they taste as good as they look, then they're absolutely delicious. So I think your mom's reaping back her benefits of her $35 cake.
I know, right?
I hope you have made her a cake or two over the last couple of years.
Oh, yes. I make cakes for everyone in my family.
Well, that's the way it should be. So where can we find you online? Facebook, Instagram, where are all the places?
Okay, my Facebook, my business page, my primary business page is on Facebook is CJA's Cakes and Cupcakes. It is just my full name now, Corterrius Allen. And my Instagram is DaCakeGoat, DaCakeGoat.
All righty. Well, I encourage people to go and follow you and give you some support. If they're in the area, make sure that they're thinking of a special day or a fun event to think about you for their sweet treats. Do you travel, or can people travel to come get your concoctions?
Yes, they can travel to come get it, and I travel to where they're at. It really doesn't matter, just as long as they get a cake from the Cake Goat.
Well, I think that's a good thing. And you keep going, and you keep in touch with us, and I can't wait to see how everything turns out for you on the Halloween Wars.
All righty. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Pretty cool. If you haven't been over to CJA's Cakes and Cupcakes, I may even share it in the Good Things Facebook group so you can easily link to it. When I say this dude's talented with creating and decorating cakes, I mean it. And if you've ever tried to make your own birthday cake for your kid or for a loved one, and you wanted to go that extra step, not just make the delicious cake, actually maybe try and do one of the pictures things of the day or du jour of the day or whatever you want to call it, you realize it is so much easier to fail than to nail it. And so that really is a talent. And we've definitely gotten to a place where Man, people who have that kind of creativity and talent, man, they're taking it to the next level.
Well, when you're really good with plants, they say you have a green thumb. If you're really good with cakes, do you have a sweet thumb?
I would think so. He definitely does. You have to go check out his works of art. It's really something to be proud of. And he's making Mississippi proud, too, on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. on the Food Network. But you guys stick with us. We've got more for you coming up next.